Hi, how are you? This is Dr. Daniel. We're going to talk a little bit today about ingrown toenails so as everybody can understand why you get an ingrown. So come over, let's take a look at it. So basically, if you look at a toenail from the top, the toenail would look something like this. What you don't see is where the nail is going. So if you look at it from the inside, the nail is actually all the way around here, all the way around this way like this. And also the nail actually is planted on the bone. So there's a piece of bone underneath here that the nail sits on. And the piece of bone sits right here. And that's like the end of the toe, just like a finger. And there's a joint here. So the nail is actually sitting on the bone. So if I come here and I do a drawing that is crossing this to see what looks like sideways, the nail looks like something like this. And then there's the bone, the end of the bone here. And then the nail is actually being made by a cell layer called the matrix cell layer. And that cell layer anchors on bone. It's not part of bone. A lot of people think, oh, I need to eat more calcium to get my nails better. Bone has calcium. Nails have what we call keratin. So right under the nail, this is the nail plate. There is what we call the nail bed. The nail bed sits right underneath the nail plate, and then there is the bone. And then there's some fat cells here somewhere to cushion the whole thing, and then there's more fat cells down here because you touch the ground, so whoever created us put a lot of fat cells here to be cushioned for us. And this layer here that makes the nail is called the matrix. Okay, so now if I cross this right there, down here, I'm looking at a nail that looks something like this. And the bone is sitting right here. Now if I cross right here, then actual bone becomes thinner. So this area right here, the bone would be a little thinner. And if I cross right here, the bone is very, very wide. And that's where your cells are made. And then there's the skin, you know? So pathology comes in whereby you get trauma to the nail. So repeated trauma to the nail, whether the nail hits the shoe, or the shoe hits the nail, or you hit the nail or something, then because the nail is such a hard material, it bounces backwards to the cell layer. And these cell layers are made out of like cells that look like boxes. So the beautiful thing about these boxes is that they grow all in one direction, only in one direction, you know? So they grow out, and as they grow out, this layer here of skin right on top there directs them to grow straight out instead of straight up. So if you remove that, some people do that as they're doing their nails, then the nail becomes thicker because there's no direction for these cells. And not only that, if you do trauma to this, they always come back and they become haphazard. So this directional growth will become haphazard, and then you get a thicker nail. A lot of people say, oh, why am I getting thicker nail? It could be because of trauma. That's one reason. Another thing is infection of some sort, whether it's infection by a fungus or bacteria, whatever it is. So the pathology comes in when you also have bone that's growing here that's becoming like a spur. And as that becomes a spur, what happens is you get a spur hitting right here, and it becomes harder for the nail to grow straight, and then it becomes like this. And you get what we call an A-shaped nail. And as you have an A-shaped nail, then you get a problem, because then these sides here dig down to the sides, and or if the spur is a little bigger, then you get a spur that's digging in a way that's only the sides that are going in. The issue about this is that if you want to remove the sides of these toenails, even though here you remove it and you remove it here, you still have that digging down. Whereas this one, if you remove these sides, you'll be fine. So it depends on the shape of the nail as what it's doing for it to get better. I hope this helps a little bit and helps how and why we look at everything. So x-rays is important sometimes with nail therapy, as well as to find out whether you have a fungus growing there, yes or no. So proper diagnosis, depends on clinical as well as radiological analysis. I hope this helped. Have a good day.